welcome to Indiecent, the gaming podcast for simply everyone.
The only gaming podcast with that Indiecent, whatever that means.
It's 50 cents.
I think
brother.
that's inappropriate. 50 cents, blood on the sand is the game. No.
Oh, I wish.
If it's on Steam and goes on sale.
I do not remember any song that man has done except the one where it's my birthday.
Gotta party like it's your birthday.
Yeah. Is it your birthday?
I remember him featuring on things more so than I remember him doing things. Also, I just see these pictures in the chat of a dolphin attacking, and I'm confused.
Awful Hospital is a ride.
I see. Speaking of rides...
Yeah. I'm gonna take you for a ride.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
They got a new one coming.
Yep. There's Captain Marvel in it.
Yep.
And speaking
Did you know? Hang on, did you know in the comics now Captain Marvel is a fascist douchebag?
Oops.
No, literally, that they completely ruined her character, and now her entire movie's derailed partly because of it.
Oops. Thanks,
Whoops.
comics.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, we're gonna talk about Joe Danger.
Joe Danger.
Joe Danger.
Joe. This is literally it. 50 minutes of us saying the words.
That's
Joe
all this
Danger.
podcast is going to be. Just an hour of people going, Joe Danger. Sunday.
Riding Mower Expo, be there.
Be there.
Oh god, this is off to a great start.
Yeah, we're already doing great. Alright, Elmo, tell us about Joe Danger.
I feel a bit silly because I picked Joe Danger for a reason that felt really smart at the time. The main kind of claim to fame of Joe Danger is that it's made by Hello Games, who are kind of
What could they be known for?
kind of had some ups and downs this year. Depending on who you talk to, No Man's Sky is either pretty good but overhyped or a horrible train wreck.
Or the worst
Hello
thing
Games
ever
is
made.
responsible for the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the level of discourse we're at.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But
God, if I hear one more fucking thing from a popular gaming critic about Hello Games, I will lose it.
Yeah.
But this was their first game. Joe Danger is not No Man's Sky, but it's weird how you go from guy on motorcycle doing tricks to exploring the entire galaxy, but I do not set up other people's goals for them.
And to be fair, the people who made that skateboarding game Ollie Ollie went on to make Not a Hero pretty quickly, and that is about as far away from skateboarding as you can get. I mean, like, it's a game. It's like a game about murdering criminals to get popularity in the polls for a rabbit who sometimes invites clowns and just has like corpses next to him when he's giving speeches.
Isn't that just No More Heroes?
Yeah.
Oh no, the bunny compliments your shins and says that you'll be shooting actual people in their actual teeth.
This is unrelated to anything, but the new game Let It Die is out from Pseudo, which features a skeleton man with like spiral sunglasses named Uncle Death.
Okay, now I'm interested.
I love it. He calls you senpai.
So
Anyways, Joe Danger.
Yeah. Came out in 2010, and that's pretty much all the background history we have.
Hello Games just sort of happened, and
Yeah.
it exists, I guess. And then No Man's Sky happened, and everyone thought they were the second coming, and they weren't, because people are stupid.
They
I mean, for that game, they bit off a lot more than they could chew, and game development pipelines are a clusterfuck.
Plus, you can mostly blame Sony for a lot of the overdone marketing.
Yeah.
Hello Games did contribute to that, but also, like, I think they probably could have gotten that monster on. They both could have tried, but also that hype train was already rolling.
Plus, I've seen so much far worse from just about every other major AAA game in existence at this point.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where the unfortunate thing we're dealing with is people's expectations. And
yeah, like the people
the
on
expectations for that just went out of control, like beyond the point that was in any way reasonable. Like, I remember when people were putting up fucking articles of like, not articles, but people were posting like, I sold every game I own because No Man's Sky is gonna be the last one I need, and I'm just gonna live in this game forever now. It's like, oh, you are doomed, my friend.
God, there's just so much bad discourse around that game. I feel like we're just going to keep going back to No Man's Sky this entire time, because how can you not talk about that game?
It's tough. It's weird because in a lot of ways it encapsulates a lot of AAA stuff, despite the fact that it's not really from like a major team or anything. But like, you talk about, people will say like No Man's Sky was dishonest or whatever, but like game development pipelines change over a very long time, especially when you promo something 2 years prior. And not to mention stuff like E3 demos, where it's like, if you, like, you know, it's a quote-unquote playable demo, but it's the ones where when it's presented, if you look in like the wrong direction, the game will just crash. So builds change and things like that. Like, granted, for No Man's Sky, Hello Games did not deliver on a lot of the things they said they were going to, and it seems like they've been trying to work on it and patch it out. Like, I think they're actually, they either just did or are about to release a sizable update for it. So hopefully they can get that back on track, but it's going to be hard to recover from that initial reception, which I totally saw coming.
Speaking of crashes,
the game we're actually talking about.
Crash, the terrible movie that won an Oscar.
God, fuck that movie.
I don't know what it's about, but someone told me it's about someone who gets off on explosions.
Is it Michael Bay?
It's writers it's writers trying to tackle racism in a way that actually is just really offensive.
So anyways, Joe Danger.
Joe Danger.
If you're wondering why we're not getting around to talking about this yet, it's not, there's not really much to say, but we'll see what we can do here.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about, but it's pretty simplistic, easy to learn, difficult to master gameplay.
Yeah.
Probably the easiest analog to make would be between this game and Trials from like I forget if it was just Xbox Live, but like
I think it's made by
the
Ubisoft.
Yep, like the Xbox Live Arcade. I think it was later on PS. I think it was on like Sony consoles as well. But Trials, the game where you're on a motorcycle and have to do flips and tricks and shit and go through these fancy courses.
And also it gets advertised in memes.
Gotta get memes. That's how you make money these days.
Yeah. There's a little bit of Excite Bike in there too, I think. But
yeah, I think so.
That might just be because that's the only two bike game franchises I know.
Or random ones that you would play in
Road
the
Rash.
early 2000s that had like fucking
Road
Blink
Rash.
182, or other random extreme sports games that you would play in the late 90s, early 2000s, where they'd have Blink 182 playing, where people are like, "Yeah, eat my shorts" on BMX bikes.
Road Rash.
This is not either of those.
Road Rash was amazing. That was like 10% racing and 90% just punching other people on bikes.
Good.
Brilliant.
Good.
So, Joe Danger. It's a real... it's a humdinger.
Let me do a basic summary of the game, since it actually does have a narrative.
Oh.
Sort of.
Yeah.
There's this guy named Joe Danger who is really good at stunts and stuff, and then he failed a trick, and now he's coming back because he wants to be awesome, and that's the game.
You gotta rise up. Joe Danger's like Evel Knievel if his face was like a bobblehead.
So basically, it's just like No More Heroes 2.
Yeah.
There you go.
And just like No More Heroes 2, it's kind of disappointing.
Damn. Bum, bum, ba-dum.
No, seriously, that game's good.
But this is a game. It's sort of like 3D models and everything. Not like it takes place on a 2D plane, but has 3D rendered graphics, in which you ride on a bike, do tricks, and go through these different courses and everything. There's like your standard accelerate, slow down, jump, duck, and all these different things with little challenges to complete and time attack score
There
things.
was also like one of the training levels wanted to teach you about level editing, but because this game was apparently made with consoles in mind, none of the hints and information it gives you tells you how to input things on the keyboard. It tells you how to input them with a controller.
I noticed that. Also, I just want to... I should have mentioned this before we recorded, but oh well. Did anyone else have a thing where this game installed like 5 other programs?
I did not notice.
Okay, so it might have been something else I installed then, because around the same time I installed this, I restarted and there were like 5 things added to play like a video starter thing, but I thought I had like random malware on my computer. And I'm like, game designers, here's a pro tip: don't do that. Please don't. God, it's just like I saw like 5 new programs on my thing. It was like, oh boy, what the fuck did I do?
I hope your computer isn't in any danger.
Joe Danger.
Danger!
Nah, it's fine. I just uninstalled the thing. It could have been a different game, but it was like around the same time as this one, so I just wanted to check.
Joe
Come
Danger.
on, Hello Game. Stop putting your phishing software on my computer.
Hello Games, more like Aloha Games, which can mean both hello and goodbye.
Sean Murray, I remember when he was called Peter Molyneux. That's mean.
Yeah,
It's the unfortunate thing where with the stuff around No Man's Sky and sort of over-promising and not being able to deliver upon those promises because the promises were too big and you couldn't realistically do it. Sean Murray and Hello Games are definitely going to be seen in the same light as like a Todd Howard or a Peter Molyneux after all this, which is unfortunate. I think we're gonna keep just jumping back to No Man's Sky as the framing device for this episode. This is the necklace that was on the Titanic, but
this episode is basically because we could have talked about No Man's Sky, but it's expensive. So instead, we just all played Joe Danger,
and not everyone's computers can run it.
Yeah.
And I heard the PC port wasn't. I mean, I think they updated the PC version, but I heard that wasn't going.
Let me get us back on track here.
Hey!
God damn it!
Be careful.
Anyways,
you could say that this conversation is dangerous.
My spoon.
You completely ruined it.
Yeah.
We did it.
That's my jam.
Anyways, Joe Danger, the way it works is you just start on a level, you move through it, and on the way you can also do things like collect stars, complete stunts, and deal with different objectives to get extra bonuses like completing the trial in a certain amount of time. And then I actually like how free it is. Like, it's not just like go forward and dodge obstacles. You can stop and go in reverse, jump around, try to find stuff in the level and take your time and like really rack up interesting tricks, just to like experiment around. There are racing levels, but they're not the majority of the game, just like little extra things.
And if you wanted to go full-on time attack, you totally can. One thing I definitely liked is they included a Steam Link to Friends feature, so while we were going through, it was just like score comparison, being like, ooh, I want to beat Darker Elmo's score time on this one, or beat this score, or whatever. So
I never saw your score, only Elmo's score, and his scores were always insane. Seriously, how do you get scores that high?
Good.
I don't know if this is a mechanic that's explained very well, but I was only ever playing it with a controller. If you use the left and right bumpers, you do these tricks.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they earn you boost, and one of the most annoying objectives the game can give you is they call it a combo. They say try and keep a 100% combo for the whole level.
Oh, I tried that where you have to do the wheelies the whole time.
What they mean is do tricks the whole time. And sometimes you just literally mash the left and right buttons, just the bumpers, shoulder buttons, that's it. You just mash them both as hard as you can, over and over.
Pretty much, just keep doing it.
You just hope that you get it right. It gets a lot more difficult.
And don't just land on your skull and go to the hospital.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to fail, because it's a little finicky. Like, you can actually land completely upside down and still roll back to normal.
I noticed that. I think I only had one actual bail out kind of thing in the entire time I played it. It's actually pretty difficult to fail, which I mean I guess is kind of good when it has these different sort of I mean, the challenge of the game is not necessarily like in Trials where it's get through these complicated stages. It's doing challenges, racking up points, or going for time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about replaying
So the failure
levels.
of that is not so much like, oh, I died. It's I did not complete this goal that was set out.
Now that I mentioned Not a Hero, I think you can compare the two a lot because they have similar design philosophies. Like, they're both mainly about exploring compact, simple levels and trying to figure out how to master them through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Not a Hero. God. Like in Not a Hero.
Runs the episode.
Anyways, like in Not a Hero, the way it works is you have to complete a main objective and clear the stage, but there are also sub-objectives, and you want to get the best ending, you have to complete those as well, and they are all incredibly difficult to do, and it takes time to learn it all. But the levels never change. The obstacles and enemies you face are always set, including ones that appear as surprises. So as you keep losing them, you learn more and more of the patterns, and then you can perfect it.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of works.
So what you're saying is it's the Dark Souls of jokes.
Yes.
The Return.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Danger doesn't have enemies, but it does have some obstacles, but the real reason you want to explore levels is to find collectibles mainly, or figure out the layout so you can like get through it in a proper way while not screwing yourself over, like accidentally ramming into a low bar over and over.
Oh God.
That happened to me a lot. It was weird. When I was playing it, I actually kind of had some trouble keeping up with it.
Yeah.
Was that like a computer running thing?
Oh no, it ran fine. I think that's the problem. Like, my eyesight couldn't keep up with it when it was going at fast speeds. Like, if I was just going slow, I could deal with it. But when it went fast, it was hard to keep up with all the information being thrown at me, which is weird because I play a lot of Sonic games, so I'm kind of used to speed. But it was like it's hard to explain.
Like the angle. It could be like the angle, color design, or like a lot of things, making it a little harder to look at.
Yeah, maybe
I'm like less overt with its appearance and everything.
I'm a little colorblind when it comes to like some blues and greens, so maybe that had something to do with it. But like, no one else had any kind of problems like that?
No, not really.
I definitely crashed into lots of things.
I crashed into things, but I never really had any stuff where I couldn't like keep up with it necessarily.
It might be because I'm not used to a game running this smoothly, not because my computer's bad, but because I play a lot of slow-paced games like point and clicks and RPGs and stuff like that. So I'm not.
You gotta get that GTX 1080. Gotta get it at 60. Gotta get it at 60 FPS, 140, 40 FPS. You gotta fucking do it.
This old game that was made in 30 FPS isn't 60 FPS in this re-release. It's trash.
Wee woo. This is the frame rate police. Come out with
Have
your
you seen the
hands up.
fucking Steam group where I'm like, I don't mean to poke too much fun because I do think frame rates are important. I just don't think they are the most important thing in the entire world.
This card game only has 30 frames a second.
Exactly. It very much depends on the kind of game where it's like, in an RPG or something, it may not matter as much as in like a Twitch shooter. Of
this
course,
game where you only go through menus that is entirely text-based is not 60 FPS.
Weren't people doing that with Undertale where they were complaining about
Oh, I'm sure they were.
But have you seen that there's the fucking Steam group that's like it straight up is like the FPS police, where it's just like, this game runs at 30, don't buy it.
Gamers are terrible.
I remember finding that group.
I think that the only reason why the frame rate thing is even like an argument is because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's an easy argument. 60 is better than 30. And granted, I think it just depends on the kind of game and all that. Of course, I would always prefer something running at 60, but
what if it's like placing
But
what if it's like placing a contest? Wouldn't you want the lower number?
No.
Oh.
I think my favorite thing ever has to be with Yoko Taro, the guy who designed the mind behind the Drakengard series. Has expressed in interviews that he would like to make a game where the frame rate is intentionally designed to be the challenge. So intentionally the game would just drop to like 5 frames a second. Like, you motherfucker.
Oh god, he would actually do that.
I mean, he accidentally did that with Drakengard 3. That ending fight is fucking stupid. It makes me glad I didn't play that game.
I can't
This rhythm minigame in the sky, when it's shaking, it's like when the thing is off time, the camera is shaking horribly and the frame rate is dying, so you don't know when to hit the button. It's stupid.
And speaking of games that expose the nature of violence in man, how about that No Man's Sky?
You gotta shoot the robots and shoot the gold to get the Minecraft.
No, I meant like it made people
Learn
go
the
insane
alien.
and turn into Nazis.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe they were already Nazis.
It's a bit of both in this climate, honestly.
But yeah, with No Man's Sky, I totally understand people being disappointed with the game because $60 is expensive.
And what's that other game that the No
prices
Man's
do
Sky
matter.
people made?
Joe Danger. But like
Mighty Number 9?
with No Man's Sky, it's a thing where this is why I say don't pre-order games, wait for reviews, unless it's like a series that you are deeply already invested in, you know you're going to buy no matter what.
Also, you should totally pre-order Sometimes Always Monsters.
Oh yeah.
I was really confused because I was like, I thought that was already out, and then I realized that was the first one.
Yeah.
Look carefully at the initials. The initials of the first one is ASM. The one in the
Amazing
second
Spider-Man.
is SAM, which spells Sam,
shit.
which is the
And
character you play.
If you spell backwards, it says Moss, which is Live Moss, Taco Bell, Eat Taco Bell. This podcast sponsored by Taco Bell.
We're gonna have so much fun naming this when it gets to YouTube. Just like, this is the one episode where we have an excuse. We can just go in and name it Episode 6.
I swear there's like 50 jokes I can just put in the description at this point.
Episode 6, No Man's Sky, Dev, Sean Murray, Epic Fail, Girl, Boobs, PewDiePie.
PewDiePie, Markiplier, Game Grumps, 360 no scope, 60 FPS.
Hey, while we're on the topic
games,
of Game
graphics
Grumps,
cards.
remember when John first left and everyone said Game Grumps was going to die and that Steam train was a cancer and stuff like that?
Fans overreacting to things, just like No Man's Sky.
Oh, how time makes fools of us all.
I was a little surprised when Jontron left, but I was more surprised when he kind of shrunk and then became this like motorcycle stuntman.
Yeah, and started doing flips and shit and doing tricks.
And then became a Nazi.
And then was doing flips.
I'm having trouble
It's been
keeping
a
track
year.
of all these.
Anyway,
for a second
back
I
to
was
Joe Danger.
I was genuinely like, wait, is there like
anyways,
Nazi stuff in
motorcycle.
Joe Danger?
Did we play the same game? What the hell is...
Joe has
How
things
is
in his
this?
closet he doesn't want people to know about.
Joe's lived a very long life, and he's trying to forget some things that from his past that keep haunting him. He can't forget the mistakes he made.
He was the Danger.
Anyway,
but
speaking
not
of mistakes being made, one thing that I did... One thing that I did have a... God damn it, I just heard the No Man's Sky. Here's a tip when marketing your game. Here's a tip, both people marketing games and people who buy games that are marketed. 1, if you're marketing a game, never ever say you can do everything. Just don't. No, you can't. If your game is about exploring, say you can explore, gather resources, and do this. Don't say you can do everything. You
just reminded me of something. Lionsgate, when they made a demo to show off the kinetic tech, they were making a game about a kid with an imaginary friend, and they did that you can do anything sort of thing. And then instantly the entire media went, does that mean you can be a pedophile?
God damn it.
And that's why the game was cancelled.
Yeah.
This is why you never say you can do anything. But just like reasonably speaking, with No Man's Sky, no, you can't do anything in it. Shut the fuck up. Games are going to have limits. So that brings me to part 2. If you're a consumer of games and a company is trying to sell it with you can do everything, be careful. Wait for reviews. Wait for gameplay footage.
Anyways, Joe Danger.
Yes, with Joe Danger, one gripe I do definitely have with it is the way it meters unlocks, because while I do like the challenges and I kind of like them as little things, there just did come a point where I just wanted to do more levels and kind of just go through. So I feel like maybe basically, for those listening at home, the way that they do unlocks is you unlock different levels based on like gold stars you get by completing challenges in the levels, which is like do this in a certain time, collect all these stars, collect the 5 letters that spell skate, or get 8 videotapes or whatever. Jokes. But so you do that and get enough of them to unlock later levels and everything. The problem I have is, while it makes sense to get the most out of what levels there are, so as to not have to make too many and not have to make too many different kind of things, it gets kind of repetitive when you have to do the same level like 5 times to do every single challenge to then unlock the next one. Yeah. See, they don't completely lock it off, so you don't have to do every single challenge or everything, but you will end up seeing the same levels again, which, if you're like me and kind of want to do a time trials, just go as fast as you can and see how quick you can tear up these courses, it can be kind of a wall in the way of that.
Yeah.
Metered unlocks. Also, fuck this game's soundtrack.
Oh. Yeah, it is not good music.
Yeah.
I mean, I very much
don't think
get
it's
that
particularly bad, but it's not like anything you'll ever want to remember.
It's like a stock music CD.
I don't think anyone in the history of the world has ever gone to Google or YouTube and typed in Joe Danger soundtrack, because
we could do that right now and be the first.
What they do is they type in Joe Danger OST.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
JD OST.
And then it's like we look it up and there's all these OC remix tracks and everything. It's like, wow, what the hell? I guess maybe there was a big following we were ignoring.
Can't believe we missed JD Con.
Why is this email box that I don't... It's like, why is this inbox for this show filling up with really angry Joe Danger fans, and why am I suddenly reading the inbox for this? How did they find this? We don't even post this anywhere. Yeah.
They had to set up their own email address and then give
God,
it
are they
to
stalking
us.
Are they stalking us over this? What is this? No Man's Sky?
At least we can say that the graphics are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
really.
It's pretty standard, but it's got a smooth look to it and everything, especially for being from 2010.
I really like the art style. It's simple, but there's a good amount of detail. You can tell everything very clearly through the level just by visual design alone, which is very good for a game like this. And some of the backgrounds are pretty inspired, in the training areas.
You can definitely tell they planned stuff out a good amount for that.
But you can also kind of tell they probably wanted this on Xbox Live, or maybe they did, because it has the giant heads thing going on.
Yeah.
It does have the giant heads thing going on, and also I have this weird thing with I have this weird shit with the options port. I understand this is their first game, so I understand a little bit of jank and everything, but I had weird things with resolutions randomly changing on me, or my volume levels just suddenly switching and shit. So
that's weird. I didn't have any problems at all.
Yeah, it was weird. I can't really... That could be one of so many different issues that I can't really pin it on any one singular thing. That was kind of weird.
Maybe what you need to do is get good.
Oh shit. It blew up in my face. As a weird throwback, there was a day where I decided to try live streaming Shrouded Insanity. Go watch that episode, or listen to whatever. You don't really watch podcasts, you know what I mean. I decided to try live streaming it, just to see, alright, how long could this be? I probably won't beat this tonight, but let's go. And what took 7 hours the first time took less than 1 that time.
Oh my god.
It's just holy shit. I guess, wow, when you know what you're doing, this turns out pretty well.
We probably won't do another episode on it, but I am aware there is a Joe Danger 2.
Oh shit.
So they had enough ideas that they were able to make a sequel. And this was
what if we just made this the Joe Danger cast?
Wait, are you serious?
No, yeah, they did. They made Joe Danger 2. I haven't played it yet.
Wait, so does this mean that I was wrong
this
when saying that No Man's Sky was their second game? I was incorrect about something.
Yeah. I actually have a little... Okay, I don't want to say beef, but basically, yeah, a beef.
Beef.
With Oh man, because this is actually like it's No Man's Sky again, but it's actually related to Joe Danger. Because Joe Danger 2, it's much like the first game. It has a lot of achievements, mainly just for, like, beat this area, beat this level, get.
It's called Joe Danger the movie.
Yep.
It looks like the exact same game,
but it's movie themed levels. That's totally different.
Okay, so I've got an idea for the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for Joe Danger 3, Joe Danger 3er, or Joe 3 Danger.
Joe Danger 2016.
Oh.
Yep. Which is just titled Joe Danger.
Hang on, let me explain this because I've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
There we go.
It is discovered that Joe Danger is actually named Carlos Danger, who is actually
John Matrix.
No. Come on, you know this.
Joe Danger 4. Ah, my spoon.
Anthony Weiner.
The
guy who keeps snapping his
that
dick.
guy.
Oh man.
That fucking asshole. But so Joe Danger 3. What if we go like meta and we go like Pony Island super hot on this shit, and it's a video game themed video game where he's in the video game but is also a video game.
But if we do it Pony Island style, wouldn't that mean the joke is that the game knows it's a joke and it's like not trying to be the next Undertale, but just like, haha, Undertale's a thing that exists?
What if Joe Danger is both the player and the character? Think about it.
I think we all know what Joe Danger 3 is really going to be.
Hey, since we brought it up real quick, I'm just going to say, you just described how awful Hospital works.
Oh no.
It's a webcomic where all the commenters make choices for the character, but the catch is that the character just hears them as weird voices in her head, and she doesn't always listen to them, especially since they once all told her to seduce a hamburger.
So,
and
that reminds me of the
hang on.
game.
You're
okay,
gonna want.
You go ahead.
You want to hear this part?
Okay.
The catch to the comic is, and the reason why you should read it, is that there are multiple characters who are aware of the commenters and can actually interfere with them.
That's funny.
And it's not funny. It's more like eldritch horror at times.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, funny as in interesting, but words don't mean anything anymore. It's 2016.
Yeah, so go read Awful Hospital. It's a very good comic game.
The thing with the voices reminds me of a tabletop game called Everyone is John, which is the most random fun you can have, in which you play as...
It's JonTron, no Nazi.
You play as a man named John, and each character plays as like an obsession within his head, and you can they switch out based on like different things, and basically John sucks at everything, so you have to get really, really good dice rolls to do anything.
And if you lose, he becomes a Nazi.
No. But you can just fail horribly and all these great things. Like, I was playing it with some friends, and we had great things happen, like having him committed to the hospital and then trying to break out of the hospital by running and doing a flying kick to a window. Which did work. Then I just, as the person running this game, had to go, alright, roll one. It's like, can you roll 1d6 again? Rolls it. It's like, what was it? 3. Okay. You give a flying karate kick out of a 3-story window and land in the parking lot, breaking both of your legs. Continue. Which you can't do in Joe Danger.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Joe Danger, or should I say Joseph Mangala.
Oh shit.
Joe Danger 3, Joe Man's Sky.
There it is.
Credit to Lamar, because Lamar said that.
I forgot I made that joke. Joe Danger was actually the robot from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Yeah.
All the enemies in Joe Danger 3 will be the angry comments left by Nazis who did not like No Man's Sky.
I mean, it was also just people overreacting.
Yeah.
It wasn't all
Nazis.
Nazis. I'm not saying there were no Nazis, but
This is gaming.
I'm not
Lamar.
saying
You know
there
there's
were
a
Joe
lot of
Nazis.
overlap.
Mighty Joe 9.
oh my god.
Just mix them together.
The Mighty Number 9 thing, where I'm surprised for just the biggest disaster of 2016 that it was not Mighty Number 9. It's like almost impressive, where it's like, wow, everything that could go wrong for a video game has gone wrong for these ones.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The biggest disaster of 2016 is that new Will Smith movie about him being a rich businessman who's depressed, so his friends decide to hire actors to help him get through stuff, but what they're actually doing is setting him up to tape him and then edit out the actor so it looks like he's crazy and talking to himself to the board.
I was about to say this is the Truman Show, but
I don't know what that movie's called.
I got so long into that.
Oh wait, the other big disaster 2016 is where Chris Pratt basically murders a woman by wake. I forgot.
I got so far into the description
Passengers
of that.
is bad.
One thing I will say with No Man's Sky, though, is damn, you had to fuck up in some way when your game makes Steam have to reevaluate its guidelines on screenshot uploads.
Remember, if you play the game for 50 hours, you should get a refund, because that's how things work, I guess.
You roll the dice with video games, and sometimes it doesn't work out. That's how it goes. I think Steam's refund policy is very, very generous.
Anyways, back to Joe
Works
Danger.
well.
I thought you were.
We're gonna keep jumping back to. We're gonna keep jumping back to Joe Man's Sky.
Yeah.
So we might as well
Okay.
begin it. I can't. It's like No Man's Sky is a tough one because I can't firmly take a side, not because wishy-washy things, but because like people overreacting, sending death threats and horrible things are terrible and awful and the worst thing ever, and there's no justifying that. But also in terms of promoting the game, Hello Games and Sony did not do a good job on accurately portraying that, which I mean, of course they didn't. They're trying to sell it, but it's just this entire outcry was like manufactured from the get-go.
Anyways, Joe Danger.
Yeah.
Don't trust corporations, they're paid to lie to you.
You know when you were talking about
we didn't.
the Will Smith movie?
No.
I listened to I heard you describe the entire movie, and I was sat here the whole time thinking, is this Suicide Squad? I'm pretty sure this is Suicide Squad.
Is it?
No, it's something even worse, apparently.
No.
Damn, there were a lot of bad things in 2016.
Yeah.
Why can't Will Smith be in good movies anymore?
Because he's trying to he's trying to rebrand himself, or rather has been for the past decade.
No, really, he's been trying hard, but he keeps landing in crap that looks promising.
He could end up in Joe Danger the movie.
Like
He
Suicide
could, or
Squad,
Joe Danger the video game.
Yeah.
like Suicide Squad on paper looks like a for sure deal, but then again, he signed on when he didn't know Batman v Superman was going to be what it was.
Oh.
The movie he signed up for, the other one I was describing, also seemed like a sure deal, like they're even advertising it as some sort of deep emotional movie. But then again, if you've been around and remember 7 Pounds, you understand how this went.
I feel sad, so I will kill myself with a jellyfish.
I forgot that was the end of that movie.
And then he gave his eyes to someone.
This is my Will Smith voice because I'm not good at impressions.
This is how he talks.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped and upside down.
So anyway, about Joe Danger.
about Flip turning upside down in Joe Danger.
Oh god, you just reminded me that there's an Arby's commercial that plays the fucking Fresh Prince theme.
Of course there is.
And then it ends, we have the meats.
Neat.
Mama, look got
Remember
scared.
the Wendy's commercial with the memer?
God fuck me.
Gotta get that hot brand-on-brand action.
You know, no matter how bad the Nazis are going to get in the next coming years, they will never be as bad as corporations and memes.
Memes.
I will stand by that statement.
That's right.
Put it on the back of the box for 2017.
When
you buy your 2017 box.
When we started recording this, I thought, I'm not sure we're going to be able to talk for our usual hour, because I only have 2 or 3 things to say about Nomad, about damn it,
No Man's
God
Danger.
damn it, about Joe Danger, and now we're Now, like 40 minutes in, and I'm like, have we said anything about Joe Danger?
And this is why I'm gonna make.
Oh well.
And this is why I'm gonna make us play another narrative game, because this needs to stop.
Yeah.
Hey, for 140, we did pretty good with that. Also with there's a little more to talk about in that one, or unpack anyway. It happens.
Oh,
it's time to stop. No more. Who are your parents? Where the fuck are your parents?
So, anyways, back to No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is kind of just this amazing thing where it's kind of the pinnacle example of what is really, really wrong with marketing games, particularly AAA games, even though No Man's Sky itself isn't one. But of just hyped up expectations for a quick buck that will not deliver just by the simple virtue of how game design, budgets, and development pipelines and time deadlines work.
You can do anything!
You can do literally anything.
Can
I shove potatoes in my ship to make it explode?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, whatever. We planned
Can I incest? No.
No.
Then what's the bloody point?
God, can you be a pedophile? Game cancelled.
Can I be the spaceship?
God damn it, I got that.
What was the real reason it was called No Man's Sky? Is because they said you could meet people in it, but you couldn't.
And then there were people in it.
We did it. We saved the day. I don't know. The weird thing when it comes to the whole No Man's Sky debacle is when that game came out, I knew exactly what it was after having had some modicum of keeping up with it. I also knew I wasn't going to buy it because I'm not really a fan of the crafting survival style game and everything. That's just not my cup of tea necessarily. So I kind of knew what I was getting into, and also it was possible to find the footage. I found it before the game came out. All the footage of how they were going through their algorithms for the different flora, fauna, and environments and all that, and sort of that. It's super impressive that they made this giant world and this giant universe with all these different planets and everything, and they're all different, but they very clearly put out this is algorithmically based, which means it's going to be based on certain patterns exponentially put out to huge entire galaxy, which is awesome. But also, anyone who's played any kind of roguelike or roguelite has seen how procedural generation can bite you in the ass.
And remember when people were excited for Surior being hunted, and then they discovered what it actually was? Remember when we were all excited for We Happy Few for a few seconds, and then we saw what it actually was?
We Happy Few seemed so cool at first, and then
it had a really cool E3 demo, but at that point you already remembered, oh yeah, it's survival crafting.
If we want to get real on one that disappointed me anyway, remember when Watch Dogs looked like it was going to be a Hitman game? I find it funny how much some of these E3 examples don't get brought up because it's kind of big. It's the problem where there's a lot of really good articles about this where E3 demos and game presentations and all that are not the game is nowhere close to done in that state.
Yeah,
often when they're showing scripted AI sequences, the AI for enemies and stuff is not even done at that point, and if you look in one slightly wrong direction, the entire demo can crash because they're trying to show a vertical slice. Which
yeah, that happened.
Look at this. Yeah, exactly.
Remember the Assassin's Creed 4 demo?
Do you remember the Uncharted one? They actually have an achievement for the game.
Oh my god!
If you when you're playing it, if you stand still at the part where the gameplay trailer froze at E3 or whatever press conference it was, you get an achievement for it.
You gotta love
That's funny.
Dog.
That's how you roll with it. But yeah, it's the kind of thing where demos and promotional footage is promotional material, which does not always fully reflect on a full game, which is unfortunate, but it's what kind of happens. I reference this channel a lot, but Super Bunny Hop did a really good video about No Man's Sky in particular. Well, not directly with No Man's Sky, but it's just the episode title is called "Are Bullshots Illegal?", which is kind of going over, is pre-release demo or advertising footage that is not wholly representative of the game illegal? And the answer is no. No, it's not. But he goes over the whole reason as to why, and it really says a lot about consumers and what is expected of them in the current day, which is really interesting.
When you're
don't trust video games.
Anyways, Joe Danger.
When you're making like the image that goes in the video for this episode, just have like a screenshot of No Man's Sky, and then just have like a little tiny Joe Danger just riding.
Yeah, have Joe Danger jumping over the No Man's Sky diamond.
Like, riding
oh god, I'm
space,
gonna do it.
And have a tiny little tear coming out of his eye. Where he was like, I thought this was my hour, but no.
No, we're gonna talk about the other one. Oh god.
I do like for some of the other games we've talked about. I think Massachusetts and the Westport Independent and Shrouded Insanity. I do try and get like a few notes down, like either on a Word document or if I just have a piece of paper nearby, I'll scribble down some things. So I'll be like, hey, you can mention this. For Joe Danger, I have a post-it note.
What is on the post-it note? If all of it has already been said.
There's like 3 things. One of them just says Team Fortress 2, and I can't even remember. Oh, okay.
Art style, I guess.
In Joe Danger 2, that was one of the unlockable characters. You get to play as, I think, the soldier.
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah, at one point they were... if it hadn't been for No Man's Sky, I'd be sitting here like, man, Hello Games, I'm expecting really good things from them.
Like, yeah, this game's kind of like a really like pretty well put together budget game.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it shows a lot of promise.
Wait,
definitely. It's janky in some places, but like it's a good effort.
Yeah.
Wait,
despite that horrible soundtrack that I want to like throw out a window. But
is budget game really the right way to describe this?
It's the closest analog I can come up with.
Remember,
this does feel
came
like
out
a game
6
that you'd see.
years ago.
I know, but this does feel like the kind of game that you'd see at like in like a Walmart PC section in like a jewel case and be like, oh, what the fuck is this Joe Danger? And then you put it in, it's like, oh, hey, this is actually pretty good.
Wait, does Walmart even have anything in the jewel case section besides sim stuff and maybe like a farming sim or something?
I was in one yesterday, unfortunately, and it's usually like weird puzzle games. They do actually have modern PC games and stuff.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now, the jewel case stuff.
Yep. Those 50 I Spy puzzles.
Well, now that you apparently have to pay for Solitaire on Windows now as a subscription, it's,
oh yeah.
Finally, the jewel cases have come back with a vengeance.
But where else will I play Solitaire? Where else will I play Solitaire?
In this jewel case, you can buy it and it'll have Solitaire on it.
Wait, in the new Solitaire, can I buy gems to buy fancier Solitaires?
No.
Can I feed my cards to my other cards to make them stronger?
No.
What about hats? Do I unlock hats?
Is Nico Yanazawa there? I think I got that name wrong, but
it is embarrassing how many of those terrible card sim thing games I've played on phone just because they have cute anime girls on them.
The truth comes out on Indiecent.
Yeah. I would really.
I'm still playing Tap Tycoon, and I swear that as soon as I miss one of my daily bonuses or something, that will be the day that I just uninstall it.
I'm playing.
I need to stop. I don't think I'm even having fun anymore. It was fun for a bit to see numbers climb, but I need to stop.
I'd really like
Sailor Moon drops again, and I want to die.
I can't really look down on either of you. I played and finished Sudoku Quest.
Oh,
it's literally just Sudoku. I
love Sudoku.
The last achievement is beat 500 levels. And I did it!
Oh. Okay, never mind.
God.
I was just there by like level 100, just being like, I hate myself. Why?
What were the other 2 things?
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not important, but at the same time, if I write 3 things on a post-it and we can't get through those, I'll just
bad sign.
Sit at home crying in front of my Joe Danger shrine. which is Eclipse.
Joe Danger wall and my Joe Danger, my Joe Danger bust and my Joe Danger onesie and my Joe Danger helmet.
And right next to my Mr. Watterson shrine.
Right next to the much bigger No Man's Sky shrine that keeps overshadowing it.
right next to the giant No Man's Sky pillar in my backyard that I keep screaming at that it's forsaken me.
Go out for your morning scream. Ah! Then
you go out. You go out, yell, shoot your laser at a mountain to get some carbon, go back.
I promise everyone the next episode is going to actually be good.
We have
you
to
don't
talk,
know that.
We have to talk
about trust me.
Trust
me, with the game I've picked, we're going to have things to talk about.
You can't make expectations. What is this, No Man's Sky?
On this next podcast, we're going to do everything.
On the next, we're going to talk about everything.
Yeah.
We're going to just...
Even that thing.
There is nothing we won't talk about. Except No Man's Sky. We should probably not talk about that.
And then the song will just... our song for that episode will be, we'll talk about anything, parentheses, but we won't talk about that.
I like Meatloaf. Yeah. He's
a horrible person.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who thinks Meatloaf's kind of hot?
Yes.
Hot patootie.
Okay, you're lying to me because the internet's a thing, and I know if I do a Google search.
Don't do that Google search. Not on the show. Is this the level we've gotten to? Yeah. Is there so little to say about Joe Danger?
Yeah, there's not much to say about it.
Oh, right.
I like it, but just like there's so little substance.
Yeah, it's a very quick kind of. Dark, I think you said this in the group chat, but it's definitely a game that's fun to play in bursts. Just kind of a nice in the background thing. Like if you had, I could see this to be a thing. Like if you're watching a show in another tab and playing this a little bit, or have a podcast on or something. It's really good for that.
But honestly, there's better choices when it comes to games like that.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, like for example, Line. I would absolutely recommend that game. I have played that thing for 30 goddamn hours.
Oh, one game that's on the mobile game thing, I think it's called Infinite Loops, is really, really fun. It's one of those puzzle games where you gotta turn things to make line. I like line puzzles. Yeah. I don't know how I haven't played The Witness yet. I like line puzzles.
I'll play The Witness when it goes on sale for more than 15% off. I hate it when there's a big Steam sale.
I think a few weeks ago it was on sale for this means nothing to the viewing audience into which this comes out much later, but I think a few weeks ago it was on sale for 50% off or something.
Oh man, I missed it.
I really want to get us all to talk about Lady Killer in a Bind one day, but it's $30 and it's probably never going to go on sale ever, so...
Yeah.
And also it's a porn game. I'm not exaggerating. There's a lot of sex scenes in that game.
I've got
now there's hey, we can make this safe for the show because there's now the censorship mod which adds sweaters.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Christine Love fucking gets it. She understands the jokes. She knows.
Anyways, Joe Danger.
It's a video.
I've got Phono Trigger on my post-it, and once again I've completely forgotten why, until...
No, we got to that. Yeah. We got to multiple timelines with Joe Danger, the movie, the game.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, I don't know if either of you played this bit, but right at the beginning, when you first get the options to, play the story or not, there's one option to play, and it's named Ultra Hard Preview.
Okay.
And
I tried that and I don't remember anything about it.
I tried that once or twice when I started playing the game, and it's incredibly difficult, and I didn't bother. But if you play every level of the game, and if you make it all the way to the end, it's actually the very last level. And I'm not sure if I think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is kind of neat how... I tried it as the ultra hard preview, and when I'd started playing the game, I thought, oh, this is impossible and ridiculous. I'm never going to beat this. And then after 10 hours of playing the game and getting better at it, I was able to beat it. Nice. That said, it was horrible and annoying.
Right.
Mainly because of that horrible combo thing. Oh.
I don't think we should wrap up. I think we should give the eulogy for this episode.
Rest in peace, podcast.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. This is the worst thing that has happened in all of 2016, even though this is probably going to come out in 2017.
I think this is the best episode we've done.
I think so too.
I think this was really...
I don't know what you're looking for in podcasts, but I think this was the most fruitful discussion.
I think we did everything. Absolutely everything.
I think you can do everything in this podcast, yeah.
But we haven't even talked about porn games besides Lady Killer and A Bind. How can we say we've done everything?
Well, we just did. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. We just
talked
did
about everything.
Everything.
Talked about...
Have we talked about Nicolas Cage?
You can't prove it. Words don't mean anything anymore.
We've talked about the Wonder Swan. We've talked about Czechoslovakia. Talked about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Talked about a framed picture.
We talked about The Wire.
Talked about penguins.
We've argued Full Metal Alchemist versus Brotherhood.
We've talked about That Boy.
We've talked about a framed picture of the screenshot in Too Many Cooks when it says starring Matthew Cody Foster as Coat.
Oh my god,
I got that. I've got that in
Adult Swim infomercials are the greatest thing ever.
We talked about my spoon.
We did talk about your spoon.
There's my spoon.
Alright, final thoughts on Joe Danger. Let us go down the line.
Okay.
Oh god, how much is this on Steam again?
Dollars.
I got it when it was on sale. And it was on sale for like 60. Put it on your wish list, and Joe Danger, put it on your wish list. Wait for it to go on sale for a reasonable price, because it's definitely good.
Maybe someone will give it to you.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy Line.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Hold on, I'm checking the actual price before I give my final opinion.
I think the Line's like
prices
$2 or
are important.
$3. Yeah. So yeah, Line is the infinitely better choice in all cases.
Oh, Joe Danger is $15 normally.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I have a really great closing metaphor for Joe Danger. It's a good metaphor for the episode too. Remember when...
And No Man's Sky.
I was talking about Joe Danger 2, and I think I mentioned it has these kind of similar achievements. Some of the achievements, all the achievements in Joe Danger work, but in the second game they don't work. There's just like five of them that just... Has he gone? Okay.
Keep talking.
So, oh man, we should say things behind his back, but we should make them just nice. I really like him.
Dark's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? We were just shit-talking you with nice things.
Yeah.
Take that.
Anyways, let's
Sorry, but you're wrapping up.
Oh yeah,
Joe Danger is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. I hate that. That's probably my main takeaway from it. Like, it's all right.
Yeah, I don't want to hate it or anything. It's just mostly forgettable, and you could just get Line for $3 and it'll last you 30 hours.
I think there's better games for cheaper, but I'm not gonna say I didn't have fun with this because it was pretty fun to dick around in and have some okay stuff. But I don't know if I'd fully recommend it necessarily. It's kind of in the 5 out of 10 range, I guess.
Yeah. But the big closing summary I have for Joe Danger: Joe Danger 2. They put achievements on it. Some of the achievements are bugged and they don't work. And there was a thing in the Steam discussion forum where some guy went, "Hey, Hello Games, are you going to be able to maybe fix these achievements?" And they went, "We'd love to, but we're currently too busy. We're a bit focused on No Man's Sky at the moment." There we go.
That is the perfect metaphor.
That's a metaphor for 2016.
And then there was another thread in the discussion for Joe Danger 2 that said,
"How do you get the North Turn Belt?" Fuck.
Anyways,
Phil.
would you like to know the game I picked out?
I would.
Is it Memoria?
I'd prefer to not just...
Damn it!
It's not Memoria, plus Memoria is a sequel, so we couldn't play it. The game I picked out is from a company called Microdes. They did a lot of old point-and-click games, and a lot of them really good, and the one I picked out is probably their most famous, Still Life.
Still Life. Oh, I've seen this around before.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it is a sequel to a game called Postmortem, but it doesn't really have much to do with that game's story, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the one game of theirs that seems to come up in discussion here in the States and Canada and all that. It's
nice.
It's a sort of murder mystery point and click about an FBI agent tracking down a horrific serial killer eviscerating prostitutes, but it also has a ridiculous sense of humor.
I'm looking at screenshots for this, and even though I'm not sure why, but there's something about this art style I like.
Oh yeah, Microids games are gorgeous. This game is like eye porn.
Yep, this game's from like 2005. It says on here, and like they did a really good job planning out like their visuals and the framing of different shots. So
you should see Siberia. That game is gorgeous, and it's even older. But yeah, like Still Life, it has a really weird sense of humor to it. It's like they wanted to make a really dark murder mystery game, and then they also collided it with a cartoon.
That's kind of how I feel about I Define Cybermancy.
Yeah, and it also lets you play as this character's grandfather, Gus McPherson, who is my husbando.
I mean, McPherson is a good-ass last name.
Yeah, he's a detective who gets psychic visions, and the psychic visions are never explained. Whatever.
What is this, Troll 2?
But yeah. His story is dealing with a different case that might be related to the case in the present time.
So that means it's totally related to the case in the present time.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Oh, just a heads up, you don't figure out who the killer is in this game. But you do figure it out in Still Life 2. But so when we discuss this game, I'll just go ahead and give you the spoilers on that, because Still Life 2 is actually about a completely different killer, and the stuff from Still Life 1 is just going on in the background, and then it ties together in a kind of clever way, but like in a way you don't expect. But I'm just getting ahead of myself now.
We'll see.
I think
please tell me your thoughts when you get to the black gay bodyguard who sounds like Chris Tucker.
That sounds amazing.
I think
the voice acting in this game is something.
I
think we've talked more about Still Life in this episode than we have about Joe Danger.
Alright, well, join us next time in which we discuss Still Life in this podcast, where you can do anything.
You can.